Extremism and cyber terrorism. Chinese President Xi Jinping proposes an international treaty to tackle both. He announced the plans Friday at the 14th summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization in Tajikistan. CCTV's Roy Ruttenberg is there. Roy, what does the plan entail exactly?
Well, basically, it calls for greater cooperation between the member countries, currently 6 of them, but also the observers attending the SCO to cooperate in the effort to combat terrorism. Xi Jinping referred to the 3, quote, evil forces, not just of terrorism, but also of extremism and separatism. So perhaps an allusion there to the Kunming terror attack that China's been dealing with, some increased activity that it wants to see ended, and it's calling on the other countries in the region to help. China believes that separatists, that extremists in Xinjiang province are likely getting support, perhaps even training elsewhere in Central Asia. And we've heard from some officials already concerned that fighters who are involved with the Islamic State, with ISIL, may be coming back ultimately to Russia and China, and that again may pose a threat. We also saw Xi Jinping urge the members of the SCO to allow the regional force that deals with counterterrorism to also tackle drug combatants' efforts to fight drug trafficking across the border. Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, linking drug trafficking, terrorism, extremism, all of this into the scope of wanting to create some sort of treaty to deal with these issues.
So, Roy, what's next for President Xi after the summit?
This was a 2-day summit with lots of heads of state. Xi Jinping will stay in Tajikistan for additional bilateral talks. On Sunday, he will then travel to South Asia. He will start in the Maldives, the first Chinese president to visit the island nation. Then he will visit Sri Lanka, where he will have bilateral talks on trade with that country's leaders. And then he will visit on the 17th of September. He will arrive in India, in New Delhi, for what's being touted as a very important meeting with Indian leaders, India's president and, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi there. Xi Jinping is expected to give an address at an academic institution in New Delhi where he will lay out China's policy for South Asia. And it's also hoped by some Indian analysts that it will alleviate some fears, some concerns in India that China is involving itself too heavily in India's backyard. So we'll be hearing from Xi Jinping more in the coming days in South Asia. Notably, he's not going to Pakistan despite an original schedule. That trip was canceled after protests. Xi Jinping meeting with Pakistani officials here, saying that trip will commence later on this year.
All right, Roy Ruttenberg, live in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Thank you.